All right. All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison. Welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about, well, whatever we can. I'll tell you that much. The market's all right now. Market's all right. There's definitely some opportunity to be had. It's just you're going to have to expand what you're used to. Solana looks like it's coming back a little bit. If you look at the 24-hour buyers over on Soul Sniper, we are actually up like 2x from where we were at this point last week or Thursday last week. So things look better. The volume isn't showing that yet. I think it will. But for right now, you're not missing much in this market. It's a little stagnant. Volume needs to kick up a little bit. There's a lot of hype around BRC20s and Ordinals. If you missed the show with Manny and you need a quick rundown on what Ordinals are, what BRC20 is, you can even look at, stamps, the SRC20, if you want something even further into that foray. You need to go check out that interview with Manny. It was great. It's a very, watered down BRC20s for rookies type of video. So go check that out. There is some opportunity over there. Between that and Ordinals, I think there's probably more interest over there than anything else. It looks like shitcoin season is dying down a good bit, at least on Solana, which is good. I'm that season of life. I it took a mental toll on me. I swear it did, guys. Still some fun stuff coming out. We got vibing nights that minted this week, and they look great. We'll talk about those today. We'll talk about cyberfrogs. At some point, we're gonna have Andy on the show, but we need to talk about cyberfrogs. They absolutely pumped, looking like one of the strongest projects on the market right now. But join with me, as always, my wonderful co-host, my brother in content. What's up, Dor? How we doing today?
What's going on, dog? I feel like I'm doing a little better than you, man. But every day's a holiday. I'm happy to be back for another one, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, market's just it's just
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
It's just whatever. I'm not
yeah.
hyped up. I'm not jazzed about it. I think everything's just kind of
I
looking stagnant. Whatever.
yeah.
That's fine.
And I think that's fine. And I think people were so used to there's something going for something to always be going on in the market, whether that price be pumping or falling drastically. So when we get in these phases of stagnation, we're always looking for something to do. And I learned like, hey, in times where there's nothing going on, maybe just accept that and just step away. You don't have to force something if there's nothing there. It's like take these rare opportunities to be like, oh, I ain't got nothing to do today. I'm about to go do something else.
Yeah, yeah. I needed to. I need to work out today, so that's definitely what I'm gonna go do. I did not this
Yeah,
morning.
that's
I
good.
actually had some real estate stuff to take care of, and that's okay. So, we also need to talk about the Mad Lads merch dropping. We'll talk about that in a second. But
Mhm.
join with us as always is Joe. Joey, how are we doing today?
We're doing amazing, guys. Sorry, I was just drinking a little OJ, washing down that breakfast
There
sandwich.
you go.
We're doing good, man. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. I bought her a puzzle from Amazon, so got that filled up. She's going crazy right now. Sorry about
Oh, you're good,
You're good,
bro.
dog.
Breakfast. What do you mean? It's 2 p.m. You eating breakfast? That's late
Well,
lunch right there.
I've been fasting to 2 p.m. doing just black coffee and some creatine. Um, and then eating at 2. So yeah, it's a breakfast sandwich at 2.
Well, wait, you drinking creatine with your coffee?
Yeah, no sweetener, no, just straight creatine in the coffee, no flavored. I pop up. It's HCl, not mono,
All right.
so no.
Okay, we could talk about that too. Because, bro, you need to be putting collagens in there. You need to be putting some sort of fat in there. I mean, we need to
Dude,
talk
the
about
Nah,
bulletproof
dog.
kills the
Straight black,
MCO
baby.
oil,
yeah.
CT oil. That just kills my stomach, dude. I tried it. I went that wave. I can't do
Hey,
it.
creatine doesn't.
It doesn't for some reason. This kind, I use concrete HCl. It really is really good on the GI, easy on blood sugar. Like it's really nice. It's a good product.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, this is what we've deteriorated to is talking
Anyway, this
about
is about to say, yeah.
what's
Oh my
in
goodness.
coffee and fitness and all that good stuff. Okay, let's get into the market. Looking over at tiexo.com, hit that analytics tab. If you scroll on down, look at the 24-hour volume. We are at 63,000 Solana volume. Meh, that is
Yeah,
such meh
yeah,
volume.
yeah,
That's
dog.
whatever. It's neck and neck, literally like off by 0.17% between Magic Eden and Tensor. It's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch. Hate Swap is below 10K Solana volume. That's how you know
Yeah,
volume is very meh.
yep.
If you see it below 10K, you know we're very meh. It's sitting at 7,000 Solana volume. Exchange Art, actually number 4 on this with 650 Solana volume. Elixir pulling up behind it at 445. So not again, this just solidifies it's a very meh market right now, and
Hmm.
that's okay. It's okay to have a
Yeah,
meh market. I'd rather it be meh than going down drastically, unless it wanted to go into FTX region where I can get some blue chip projects for pennies on the
yeah,
dollar. But, other than that, what do we feel about the market? Let's go with Door first, and then Joe.
yeah, man. This market's kind of blah, and I mean that's fine. Like I don't need to be popping off all the time. It's nice to have a little break in between the market. Like my Twitter has pretty much been nothing going on. There has been no consistency on what the topic of the discussion of the day is. And when I start seeing that, I'm like, okay, I guess it's time to step away. So like I've honestly been enjoyed it because I've been waking up at like 9 o'clock in the morning instead of like 7:30. So it's been great.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that. It has been nice because I don't feel like I have to be glued into my
Yes,
computer.
exactly.
So I guess that's nice. All I do is play the heist right now.
Exactly, dude.
And other
And
than that, hey, not really much going on. I'm not trading. I'm not
no,
taking trades. I'm not doing anything. The only thing I'm interested in is cyber frogs right now, but we'll get into that in a second. It's just man.
yeah,
It's a man market.
yo, B and I think that's a great point, dog. It's just like picking up these like passive type plays and plays that you think it'll do well in the next cycle. Like I've been playing the high since mint, haven't stopped. Picked up recently. I think over the past 2 weeks, I accumulated like 300K Nana. So that's about close like to $700, 35 Sol. So I'm going to keep doing that, dog. Like, I'm good. Just keep stacking Nana. And then other than that, I'm not even trading anything, dog. I think the time to pick up things is now. But I mean, we've been cooking over on, I've been cooking over on BRC, and we can get that to later. But
Well, I'm glad you are. I mean, I've only done one thing over on BRC 20s, and it was that stupid 0509, which people bought.
oh yeah,
the ones that were higher listed than mine. I'm upset about it still, dude. What the heck is going on? I hate it here. But Joe, how we living? What are you up to these days?
Yeah, man. So this is a time in the market. I am repositioning liquidity into DCA type of profiles, just because I know, there's a macro bear that we're in still, and we've had a lot of bull pops, little micro bull pops that are normal. And I think we're starting to see the exhaustion now. We have like kind of seller's exhaustion here, where people had a lot of money, then people are sold off pretty quickly, and they're holding liquidity. They don't know really what to do with it. A lot of it's leaving the market, and then whatever else is staying is kind of magnetizing towards these passive income type plays. So for me, that's just like, moving like Dora was saying, passively. So like, the heist, cyber frogs for their Thor contracts, loading Thor contracts, DCAing and spot bots, and then like, yeah, BRC 20, like Ordi, you know what I'm saying? These like more, not, they're still higher on the risk curve, but they're not like gas pedal to the floor type deal. So yeah, right now I'm just slowly transitioning liquidity to different plays, and then playing my leverage portfolio, trading the volatility in the meantime. So I don't think it's too much to overthink right now. If you like a play, don't go all in, just start slowly, right? We're close to the bottom. If we're not at the bottom, we'll capitulate again, and we'll be a higher low than the first capitulation. If anything, I do think we're closer to the bottom now than ever. So yeah, I would just say, slowly but surely, don't go all in at once. Pick a couple plays. And this is the thing, don't oversaturate yourself. It is so hard. You'll sit down, you'll go through 1,000 things in your brain. Oh, I need to get exposure here. No, you'll kill yourself. You don't have that much capital. Be realistic. Pick 3 to 5 plays to really stick to your guns to and DCA them. It'll be easier on your mental top. It'll be more efficient in the long run. And you really count your blessings with those, because you don't want to get oversaturated right now, right?
Yep.
You'll be like, there's so many good plays, right? Just count your blessings and pick a few that you really can have some conviction in.
Yep.
I think that is incredibly well said. I think you absolutely need to be doing that right now, because if not, you're going to be caught in 20 to 30 liquid positions that you're going to be like, I don't know what to do with them. Like this is miserable. I just have to sit on them, hope that some of them play out. And the problem is most of them won't. Like, this is about the time. And I said this on No Fluff. I said this on a couple of different spaces, but this is about the time that ERC20 tokens back in late 2018, 2019. This is about the lull period, how far we went from the capitulation to the lull period. But right before we get to that disbelief rally, where things start dying out, they're going to die out, and you're going to see these projects like go under. I mean, one that was brought to my attention. Do you guys know what Smart Sea Society is? Mandy talked about them a while ago, but they gave social signals.
Yeah, I minted them. I remember they were like the ugly looking fish.
I don't remember. If I saw them, I might remember, but I don't remember the name.
They halted operations. They're like, we haven't made enough progress. We're running out of funds. We don't know what to do. We're just we're cutting it here. And it was a good run. So that's tough though. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you take that? If they're going back to Web 2 or something like that, how do you take that and say like, yeah, I made my own NFT project and it didn't work out. And now I have to go back to Web 2 where nobody knows what an NFT is, or, how you are orchestrating and architecting these social networks like SmartSea was to give these signals on chain. Like, they had to do everything off chain. So they were trying to integrate it into on chain. They predicted 2 months, and it was 8 months. 8 months later, they still hadn't made the progress they wanted to. So, which is not a knock on them. It's just, this is very uncharted territory. We got people that have unrealistic expectations. I think one of the big things in this space is that I know for a fact that a lot of the people that are the loudest in the space have no business experience. Zero. And so when people are like, man, I'm coming out with all these great ideas. It's execution on them. That's what moves the needle. It's not, I can come up with a million different ideas right now, a million. Whether I execute on them or not, that's what makes it successful. And so I see it. It's not just on Heist. It's every single project I've ever been in are the people who are just making noise, want to get their voice heard. And it's like, bro, if that's what you want to do with a project, go make your own project. And they're like, I just clicked the green button and I clicked the red button and I hope it's higher by the time I hit the red button. Like, that's all I do.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, good talk then. Good talk. So I don't know. I think there needs to be some sort of market maturity. Maybe those people eventually realize that they could be doing more with their life or making more money elsewhere. I'm hopeful for that, but we'll see what happens there. Nonetheless, I still think there's plenty of cool projects coming out. We did just have Mad Lads released something in Backpack that you could go into Backpack if you held at least one Mad Lad through the snapshot, which I did. You can go to Edition 1. It's on the top of your collectibles page. It's a little banner up there. If you click that, depending on how many you had, it was 1, 3, 5, 10, and there was another tier, I think. I think it was like 25 plus. You got a different variety of their merch. I got a t-shirt because I only had one. Wasn't really interested in holding on to more than one, but I still wanted to hold one. I got a t-shirt. Those things are selling for 2.5 SOL right now on marketplaces. So thank you for the dividend. I appreciate it. Mad Lads continuing to print. I think they could do really cool stuff with this. So I think there's cool projects out there. I think Cyber Frogs is another great example. Citrus just released Juice. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
Juice. I still got to figure out what exactly it is, but Famous Fox continues to just drop stuff every single day. It feels like they're just dropping new stuff. Been around for forever. I mean, I would consider them the OG builders at this point because I'm not sure what's happening over at Tayo, but
at Blocksmith too. They're pretty OG and solid.
Yeah, I mean, Blocksmith for sure. I still hold my Blocksmith, still staking that, still getting forged, but yeah, I mean, there is some cool projects out there. It's just besides the ones that are doing something right now, I have no interest in holding anything. I have zero interest.
No, dude, I think the play was, we talked about this maybe a month ago where the market was hot. All of us were just aggressively selling off things, just like getting rid of I got pretty much rid of all my bags. Like, I was just like, everybody's all euphoric now, but then that depression is going to seep back in the market, and that's when I'm going to go shopping. And I haven't really done. I did pick up 10 Bastards the other day. I either mentioned it on the show or on my Twitter. I picked up them at 3.25. So just prepping my plays for the next cycle. I think Bastards is going to see a run up whenever the market sentiment returns. But I've been really spending a lot of my time over on Ordinals right now and seeing my Ordinals bags have quickly shifted to like my largest holdings, man. Like you guys know I hold an OMB, and those things they've been cooking, man. So I'm pretty much up on those and just like trying to get more involved in the ecosystem, keeping an eye out for BitGod's token dropping whenever he decides to. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what I've been doing right now.
Yeah, the one Ordinal project I want right now, I mean, definitely an OMB, because I think proximity to ZK is going to make you so much money, like so much. And he's the one who's on the forefront of like what's actually happening over on Bitcoin. You know, it's like him, Leon, BTC or BitGod. There's a few other people, Paz over there, but yeah, there's a lot of people that are just incredibly interesting follows. I think Bitcoin is fascinating. I think it is. And we said this, we got timestamps to show it too. I think Bitcoin is the one that takes over Ethereum. I think Ethereum is in so much danger personally. Like, do you want more legacy provenance and a richer liquidity? You go over to Bitcoin. Oh, you actually want to do something with your NFT? You go over to Solana. Like, the in between is Ethereum just doesn't make sense to me right now. It makes zero sense to me. And I know I'm going to get so much FUD from Ethereum maxis who haven't tried Solana, and we went on a rant about that too. It's like, you know, the Apple user telling the Android person that Androids suck, and you ask them if they've used it before, and they say no. And then you're like, there you go. Why don't you try Solana? And then you tell me that Ethereum is just everything you wish it was in a blockchain, because it's not. And the L2s suck. The only one I'll give shout out to right now that's been super interesting, and I love the DeFi aspect of it, is ARB. ARB is the only L2 I have any interest in right now. Other than that, Sui in the shitter. I mean, Sui was dead on arrival, basically. Aptos, Canto, all that good stuff. I don't even hear them anymore. They went the way of Near. I mean, it's Solana. It's Solana. It is Solana, Bitcoin. Everything else I don't care about.
No, I agree with you, man. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to put a short out of that, and people are going to flame you on that too.
I don't care. Let them roast me.
Give us the engagement.
It's true though, because if you think about it, Ethereum with its deflationary mechanism now, eventually it becomes a hedge of just like BTC. It's just a hedge, right? It's a deflationary asset, and it's hard to do what's going to happen when there's only so much Ethereum floating around. Like, it's like what they're selling, their use case for NFT, that's not going to work anymore. Like, their paradigm has now shifted. They just hasn't caught up yet. They don't realize it yet. Like, the way it's trending, it won't be able to do the things it barely does well now. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to keep getting more expensive, slower. It's just going to become like BTC almost in a way. It really is. It's trending towards a more paradigm of BTC. So it's like, what would you rather have, BTC or ETH? You know, it's like, if it's the same value, it's a BTC. It's like, and then Sol. So I agree with you, B. I really do, man.
If you want your NFTs to do something, you come to Sol. If you want them to be a historical piece of like a nerd history, we'll call it nerd history, because that's literally what Ordinals are going to have the value from, is nerd history. Hey, you go over to BTC. Like, that Ethereum makes no sense. And if you want some stats to back that up, first off, I think this stat's really funny. So sales over the last 30 days, 428 million over on Ethereum. A total is 905 million. However, like I said, 428 mil for the sales, 477 million is wash traded. Because they're blur farming.
Yep.
Literally, that's all that chain is going to be, is blur farming. You are now more washed than you are sales. And this is according to cryptoslam.io. You can go check the stats if you want to. It's all washed. Solana is behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at 104 million already. 104 million in NFT sales. That I also think that includes, BRC20 tokens, which to me is like, that's not fair, right? Well, let's compile all our shit coins together and see. I'll see. We'll at least be closer on that front. But Solana is sitting at 72 million, and then the rest is nothing. And Solana only has a mil that's wash traded right now. Bitcoin's $4,000 of wash trade. Like, that's just, Bitcoin is it. You want the old archaic feel. You want there's high friction. There's a high barrier to entry because it costs so much. But you're getting that like nerd history. Yeah, you go to Bitcoin. Ethereum, useless. Sorry, it's useless. You take that to the book, dude. I don't care.
If you want to onboard or reward your holders in a real way with any type of airdrop or on-chain mechanism, it is only even valuable on Sol. You can't do it on ETH. It just does not work. It is too expensive. So, like, be honest, like, if you want to create a real community-driven project where you can interact, reward, incentivize, it's on Solana, regardless of the old money and the watch money that's sitting on ETH. That's why people go there, to mint out, get their funds, and basically let their projects die, let's be honest. And then they'll come with a pop of an announcement every 6 months that does nothing but help them and their pockets, not the actual holders. So, like, if you real life mechanism of a community and an NFT project coming together, it does not make sense on any other chain. BRC now 20s and Ordinals is basically taking an inverse perpetual long leveraged on BTC, right? You're trading a higher risk asset than BTC only to compound more of that perpetually. That is why that's the value prop. What's your value prop for ETH? Those are mine. I'm saying, like, what's that, So I don't know. I don't have one, other than I just think people trust it, and it's been around for a while, and it's deflationary, and enough people continue to use it, price will probably go up. So, like, other than that, price go up, I don't think it has a strong foundation to an investor like myself, at least.
Yep. I 100%. I just don't see it anymore. I'm sorry. I know I'm gonna get flamed. If you want archaic smart contract features and you value liquidity more, I could see that being the niche it carves out. But other than that, unless you actually want to build something that is going to be useful in the future, you build it on Solana. Solana folks, again, I've said for the longest time, the one thing we need is community, stronger community. And I don't mean that like we are very vocal and active, and we definitely make our opinions known on Solana. You need more, like, just invest in the projects that you actually want to see succeed and walk away for the next few months. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. My money is going towards projects I know going to be around here in 3 months. Other than that, I don't care for trading. You are trading Costco hot dog money. You are giving these project leads and everything like that just money at scale. And what are they doing? They're dipping out. I mean, they might try to build something, but they're dipping out, and you're just giving them money at scale. And if you're like, oh, I made, a 2x, well, you know what? Good for you. Congratulations on your 2x. But they just made away with like hundreds of thousands of dollars minimum. So congrats on your 2x.
That's a good point, B. I think people need to also consider the time investment of trading. Is it worth your time to be trading right now or doing something else? In my opinion, it's probably better worth doing something else. Like, there's nothing going on or no hype, mints that are coming out right now and that are going to give you those multiples where it's worth to track the social sentiment on Twitter, tracking charts, tracking all this other information, vice going out and, having an additional side hustle other than your Web3 stuff. So yeah, man, with me, I'm chilling around. I ain't in I have a couple things listed. If it sells, it sells. But if not, whatever. I'm just waiting around. I have specific catalysts or events that I'm looking forward to. But other than that, man, I'm taking some nice time off from Web3, dude. And I'm going to say it's nice. Been playing video games more. It's been nice.
Bro, I played Apex Legends for the first time in months, and it was so nice, dude. I just got to, bro. I realized I saw Legend of Zelda started. Legend of Zelda started. I was like, holy shit, I didn't finish Breath of the Wild yet. I still got one more Divine Beast I gotta go beat and then go to Ganon. So I was sitting there, I was like, man, why didn't I play? I literally saw my save file was from 2019. I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and play this. And I've been playing like 30 minutes a night just to kind of crank away at it. Look, I'm just saying, this is boredom meta. Get used to it. We're going to see this phase of, like, if you're not in the heist, bro, what are you doing? At this point, it is something to do while you are doing Web3. And I mean this just from a strictly unbiased standpoint. It's fun. It's fun. I have fun every single day seeing what I got and then watching whatever I got from gas station be confiscated, because it happens every single time. They always target my best chimps. I don't know what it is. I hate it. I'm tired of it. I'm not standing for it anymore. Devs, please do something. But besides that, having a blast with it. Having a blast.
Same, man. Look, I'm telling you guys right now, like, you are literally losing money by not playing heist right now. There is literally nothing else going on in the market. If you got some soul sitting on the side, you need to go out, buy yourself, I would say probably, if you have enough soul, get a bag of 10 chimps and just let them cook, dog. Just let them cook.
You going straight for 10. God bless, Dora. Okay, I was going to show that hard. I was going to say pick up a couple, but
nah, man.
Yeah, you know what? Go for 10. Go
10
for 10
chimps
right now. Go buy 10 chimps. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Let them cook.
But Joe, I want to check in with you real quick, because there's a couple of plays that I love that you're in. One is Steppin'. How is Steppin' going for you? Have you sold your sneakers? Are you still doing it? What's going on over there?
Oh yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm like 28 SOL away from being even ROI, and it's only been like 2 months, I think, something like that. So it's been a pretty good. People were telling me 6 months. I think it's going to be more like a 3-month ROI, and then I'll be back in it.
Yeah.
So Steppin's still good. To be honest, there's more money to be made on the ETH realm. So once I get ROI even and a little bit in the money, I'll probably sell the Solana shoes and move into the ETH realm, just because there's more money there to be made. Just have to catch low gas fee days to list your stuff.
I was just about to say, because who was it? It's somebody who likes heist. We actually have a lot of people from heist that love Steppin' too, and they're just like,
oh yeah. It's a good little crossover.
Yeah, I know. I need to reach out to Steppin', because I think that would be a fun crossover too, of like we're not competitors. In fact, like we complement each other really well. When they're not walking, what are they doing?
Yep.
Their chimps are heisting and all that good stuff.
Oh, dude,
You know,
could you guys drop like
Yep.
drop Nana to one person drop GMT, and you guys could kind of like have a not a sink but a spout for other SPLs maybe for rewards or something like that. I don't know if that's even
that takes believe me, it sounds good in theory, but it takes a lot to factor into like tokenomics and everything like that. So it is something that we are exploring. It's just like I said, it sounds good in your head. When you put it to paper, you're like, this might be a little tricky, and then you try implementing it and everything goes to shit. So it is something that is probably going to be on the horizon in future seasons, but we're not commenting on that right now.
Joe, I got a question for you, dog, because like I do like the idea of if you're not heisting, you're stepping, and if you're not stepping, you're heisting. Could you give me? I know our boy E Money in the dojo. He's like freaking stepping genius, and I know you've been involved a while now. Do you think you could give us, like, if I wanted to buy shoes right now and get started, could you give us a quick rundown on how to do that?
Yeah, it's super easy. You just download the app. The app will literally walk you through creating what you're doing is creating a Solana wallet, but you don't really realize that. Once you have that Solana wallet, you fund it, which you can fund obviously from wherever. And then once that's on there, there's an actual marketplace that you go on. It's a website, and you connect your wallet there, right? Once you fund it, you got to transfer your funds to your spending wallet. It's super easy. Then you buy. I would go for a max level shoe, an uncommon max trainer probably, floor. One with good luck. Luck's really important because gaining GMT right now for comfort is kind of not the value proposition isn't there. You're better off getting max luck and then selling what you get in boxes. And then you just want to get the max level because you don't have to deal with it. And then from there, the real alpha is just to buy common shoes off floor to get your energy higher. So you have more minutes available to walk and earn. That's it. You really just uncommon trainer, max level, luck stat high, and then from there, right, you add your gems, right, and you make sure that there's gem slots are there that you want, right, like for yield or there's a couple different kinds of resiliency. So just start up a wallet, fund it, go and get yourself an uncommon trainer max level. That's best bang for your buck, and then from there, just dollar cost average in when you see low floor on the common shoes, it as low as you can get, because that just adds +1 energy. That gives you another 5 to 10 minutes of earn time.
And how much would like this cost and sold value? Like, me just going in and purchasing all this?
Probably right now, Solana, let's see what these prices are. I would imagine probably 35 or 40 SOL. You could get a solid step up with an ROI of like 1 to 3 months.
Okay, yeah, that seems good, because I'm like walking my butt off over here in Mexico City like all the time. So I'm like, man, I'm walking so much, I might as well be like getting some cash with it.
Yeah, and you got to think my ROI was less than 3 months when in the bear market when GST and GMT are worthless, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine a little bull comes back in. There's going to be liquidity that goes everywhere. And now you're up 60 to 100% on the bag you've been saving. Now your ROI is exponentially smaller. I mean, you get it quicker, and so yeah, bro, it's there, but it's still a risk because you're throwing. But I do give it to them. The marketplace is liquid, right? Any like gems you want to sell. If you floor it, it'll sell immediately. If you floor it like two GST lower or GMT lower, it'll go immediately. Like there is liquidity on the marketplace, which is pretty surprising, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, you do high luck, and then you earning every time you walk is kind of an incentive just to get out more. I like that, what I'm saying? Just kind of gives me a reason to get out more and turn it on. So
yeah, this token is so down bad as far as GST goes, because I only have a comment. Yeah, GMT doesn't look that much better, but how does Steppen save it? I want your opinion on this, Joe, because I have some opinions. Like, what do they do to get this token back up? Because GST is never making it back. It's never.
So they got to create deflationary aspects and sinks and incentives to burn, right? To compound, create a better setup. There should be reasons for you not to want to go straight to a DEX with that GST or GMT that you're earning, right? And maybe a third token comes in as a gateway token that allows you to sell or withdrawal or something like that. They need to have barriers and sinks in place, because right now it's just you walk and sell, walk and sell. I think for the most part, it's like bots that are just accumulating and then reselling to keep an average floor. Like I would do that at least if I was halfway smart. So like it looks like liquidity is there, but it's really just rotation of like a small delta between the two. So yeah, they would have to do an outreach community event, burning deflationary mechanisms to create an upward momentum on price action. That'd be the real, and then tokens up, people want to play more, you on board, just the same cycle, but you have a more efficient tokenomic plan than you would initially. I feel like would be the way.
Yeah, they need help on their tokenomics, because that's, I mean, it's the one thing that I just look at and I'm like, this doesn't make
Well, that's it screwed them in the first, right?
Yeah.
They had a great product, amazing product, but what happened was they put in place tokenomics at first and then try to patch it and band-aid it again, and it just made the cut worse, right? It just oozed and got infected. They never cleaned it out and stitched it out correctly in the first place.
We know that.
What do you end up doing? You end up cutting off the arm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, they just had it at scale. I mean, their tokenomics problem is what Remnants was. Like it's way too linear. All you're doing is there's not enough sinks in the game. There's not enough risk in the game. Like there needs to be risk. Yep. That's what makes heist so beautiful is risk and seasonality and EV minus plays. Like I don't know why they haven't figured that out yet, because they could. And if they took like a heist approach to it, oh my gosh, dude, Steppen would be massive. Yeah. Like if there was like a chance,
they could do so many things, B. Like you could have actual staples of mechanisms in play. Like you did 3 miles, another mile, and you burn this much, you'll get a chance at this check. There's so many ways to gamify walking or running already, right? It's already, you're in a dopamine euphoria state. You can grab onto that market right there and push things in real time on this app. Like there's so many things they could do. I agree with you, to make this thing really go, oh, I'm investing back into this because I see the vision. It's like, do you care enough? How much money did they make? And how much do they really care is the question at the end of the day, I think.
Yep, 100%. But I totally agree. I think Steppen right now, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, it feels like a pretty low risk play. Plus, even with token prices so downtrodden like they are right now, I'm sure you can find an easy way to break even, in a few months. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Don't get a common one like me.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, I think. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, B. I'm not getting a comment. Like, if I'm going to buy the stuff, I'm going to make sure it's right, so I can, see some, sizable or decent return. I'm not expecting to become a millionaire off of this. And I think that's what people get too focused on, the heist, like heist and step. And I say, just because the token price is down does not mean that it's worthless at this point, especially in the heist. You have so many more burn mechanics coming up where that. You can, I think 15% of the whole entire supply was burnt recently. That's with only upgrades out and a couple raffles. Like, dog, let them cook. I can't speak the same about Steppen, but with Heist, even at 0.02 cents, I'm still pulling in bank with Nana just by passively just sitting here playing the damn game. So I can say the same thing with Steppen from my experience with Heist. Is that just because the token's down bad doesn't mean that there's not an opportunity to make money, because that token still does have value. Will it take a little longer to accrue your initial cost basis back? Sure, it might take a little bit longer, but that doesn't mean that it's worthless and you're not going to get paid anything. So even if you miss the train now, Joe jumped in on Steppen. He's still doing good. I've been in the high since the beginning, man. I sold some at the top, and guess what? I've been riding my bags down ever since. But guess what? My bags are still worth something, and I'm just going to keep collecting, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, with Heist, Steppen was one of the forefronts of hey, this scaled really well, but what did they do wrong? Their tokenomics sucked. And so, it is making, kind of like Joe said, making another currency, but stop emitting the other two and then use those other two currencies in the future. So then you now have fully deflationary pressure, and there's no more inflationary pressure. Like it's not being emitted anymore. Like you're not earning it during your walks. It's another token. That's the beauty of seasons. Yeah. That's what we can do is in season 2, there's no more Nana being emitted, but you're going to be able to use Nana to do some cool features in season 2. And what's the only way? Well, if you don't have it on hand, you got to go buy it. Now that token price goes skyrocketing, right? So it's doing the inverse kind of curve of where you see all of these tokens start up here, and they may go up a little bit at first, and then they just plummet down, right? It becomes a dump token. We're doing the inverse, right? Inverse. So
Yeah. No, it's smart, B. That's why, dude, you see it in Dust. That's why one of my biggest LPs right now, like when I leave, is Dust, because even if it goes down to $1.90, it's not emitted anymore. There's 10,000 DeGods with money that are gonna need it to do cool shit coming up, mechanisms, and what happens, like you said, it's not emitted. The only place to do is buy, and it's on 3 chains, and there's really the only real liquidity is on Solana. So what happens to that SPL on Solana? It's probably going to be an arbitrage, and it's probably going to pump regardless. So stuff like that, and it's not like Dorian. Like there's a advice from B, and then touching on what Dor would say, right? Is like you're not seeing things happen right away, but it's one of those plays in a month. You're going to look back and be like, oh, I was down 8%, but now I'm up 130%, right? Like people are getting scared at 8% loss, and it's like that's not even a week, isn't anything, right? We're looking at 90 days, 30 days, 60 days.
yeah,
So,
well,
little plays like that, man.
100%. I mean, and so let's talk about more plays like that, because I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think Photo Finish, literally, they were just at the Kentucky Derby. I think Ian is. It just proves like something about the space, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. This guy literally invented the hit stick for Madden. His team has been coming from DraftKings and EA Sports, and has years and years and years of video game development under the belt, specifically in the sports arena. Their software is used at the Kentucky Derby for simulcast, like and simulation. That what other project can boast that right now? Right? Meanwhile, we're like hyping up OK Bears for announcing, their terrible announcements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it is. And they haven't delivered. Like if you're looking at this and you're saying like, oh, my OK Bears bags are going to be great, the community is fantastic, the art and branding phenomenal, their delivery has been atrocious. It still has. I don't care what anybody says, it's been atrocious.
Dude, I completely agree. Dude, I just kidding that. Do I know OK Bears is going to pump in the future? I'm willing to bet that it will, but I can literally not bring myself to buy a bear. I cannot do it, man. I can't.
No, I can't either. I mean, like, I want to. I do. Like, I'm telling you right now, it has all the fundamentals that you want from a project. Great brandability. Like, I would wear the OK. Like, it looks like Supreme. I mean, we can call a spade a spade. Good. It's just a green, light-hearted Supreme. It has really good art. I love the Bears art. I know a lot of people say like, oh, it's just a base C derivative. No, it's not. It's not a base C derivative. I mean, like, yes, it's in the same vein and stuff, but completely different color palette, completely different art style. It's like 4K, res base C, and I think that's sick. Besides that, though, I'm sorry, the team hasn't delivered like at all. You're telling me you have all that money. They announced that Fortnite partnership over at NYC. Really, all they did was use the creator tools, and it like free to use creator tools that just came out in Fortnite not too long ago to make their own island. And they called that a partnership. Like, bro, are you kidding me, dude? Yeah. You failed to deliver their wristbands for forever. It's just atrocious.
What's going on?
You know what scares me, B?
Sorry, Joe.
Dude, listen, this is it's like they come into Web3 because they need easy and quick cash funding, right? Crowdfunding, and they get it efficiently without taxes and all this other stuff, probably because they're offshoring their banks and whatnot, right? And then they are doing things on the Web2 front that they say is for the project, but how is there a real way to what's the reason to hold, right? Like, are you giving me free merch, or are you still making me pay for it? Like, all these things, it's like they know how to crowdfund correctly in Web3, but it's like, how do they reward without doing rev share and things that are illegal in a lot of places? Like, it's very hard to like walk that tightrope between being a Web3 entity and a Web2. It's like, yeah, you want Web3 for our money, but you want Web2 for your own bags, your COO, your CEO, like it's just like a dichotomy there that's hard, right? Because it's like, how can you really reward? Yeah, you hold an OK Bear, and they might be a big brand, but what are you getting from that?
Yeah,
right. Like, why would you hold that and not sell it at 80 SOL again?
Yeah,
right, or 100 SOL. Why? Like, so that's like hard for me sometimes. Now I'm really thinking about putting my money places in these IP places. Like, how are you going to reward me? Why would I not sell for the delta that I bought and now it's at price accumulation wise? rather than hold it. Like, what's the value prop for me to really hold? And it's like, I don't know if there is any yet, because realistically, in a non-rev share type of way, very, I don't know. That's my thought process at the moment. It's very hard, I think, for these projects to walk the fund.
Yep. No, I agree with you, Joe. And another thing for me with OK Bears, OK Bears is sitting at 50 SOL right now. Why would I buy a bear over like Blocksmith that's 2 SOL more? Like, I have to come on. It's like, why would I do something where I know there's a known catalyst coming up over this thing that has had a very sketchy past? Why would I not pay an additional 10 SOL to pick up a Mad Lads? There's other plays on the market that I have to constantly outweigh the benefit of me picking up an OK Bears and having that liquidity lock there, vice being in another project that I'm more confident will move. While OK Bears could do a 2x, I'd rather go in something more confident, knowing it can do at least a 30 to 40% increase than speculating on Bears price action.
Yep. I could not agree more. There's literally like a handful, right? I mean, you mentioned Blocksmith. Yep. Famous Fox.
You can pick up 5 chimps for that price. Like, come on, dog. Like, it's no brainer.
Hey, Door over here chilling the heist harder than I am. That's my damn job. No, I mean, like, you can pick up, a gorilla and a couple chimps if you want to play that way. You can pick up some a stack of Nana and 4 chimps. I mean, however you want to play that. You can pick up 3 cyber frogs right now, which we'll get into them in a second. We can talk Famous Fox, Clanos. You can get a Clano for that much. You can get a Mad Lad plus some soul. If you add some soul to that, I mean, like, in no way, shape, or form do I think I just look at opportunity costs. I have no desire to go with them over any of the projects I listed before. So that's my 2 cents. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get all the hype. I think the art's sick. I think the community's awesome. I think the brandability is great, but I see that in so many other projects as well. I think OK Bear has some great branding, though. I think they could do a lot more with it, and they don't. So, all right, let's get into Cyber Frogs. I want to talk to you, Joe. We're talking about plays that you can just set it and forget it.
Let's do it.
And Cyber Frogs is one of those. We've been meaning to get Andy on the show for forever. He was going to be one of the first guests, and we just kept going back and forth. He was working on this. I respect the hustle. So, talk to me about Cyber Frogs. It pumped. It went nuclear. It went up from, like, over the past 3 days. I have them saved. Over the past 3 days, they shot up from let's see, it was about 12.8 to now 18 in a bear market. So let's talk about that. What happened there, Joe? What's going on with Cyber Frogs?
Yeah, man, I think it's a classic case of someone being consistent and showing consistency over a long stretch of time, and that eventually, if you're building something that's worthwhile, it's eventually going to pan out. And they derugged with $1,500 and started, like, really just pushing products for the first time, like innovating, right? Like, non-custodial staking, trait swapping, like all this crazy stuff that they were building, with Thor within itself, right? But it's a long burn for them because they really had to prove themselves and really back test a lot of these things. And now they've gotten to the point where, they have capital. They're able to really push products and really create, like, an innovative product. And I think people are catching wind of this, and it, because there's not many reasons to have a DeFi product on Solana, right? That's one of the things that hurts us the most, right? That DeFi really fun, like the TVL for DeFi is really what kills us. We need more of that. So, like, this product within itself, people are realizing is more than just an NFT project. It's a DeFi product, right? It really is. It's on chain using Drift protocol, like calls that you can literally track. And it's more of a passive strategy to give back to, like, the little guys, right? Like, if you were to have access to basically a DeFi hedge fund bot that they're building through multiple risk profiles, it costs you buco money, right? They're giving you at cost of Kira token, which is like a few SOL right now to open a Yakuza contract, which is a higher leverage contract. They have medium and lower, right? Like, the passive, they just pushed an update. You can go back at any time and add more SOL and USDC to your passive contract, which right now just DCA's in. It's a spot bot, but soon we'll have other commodities that it can pull USDC in, compound, pull it back before the next call is up. So there's, like, a lot of cool stuff happening with Cyber Frogs, and I think people are realizing, like, oh, this is a actual, it's rare in the space, but it's a real tool. Like I can put this in my wallet and it's going to do something for me. I hold this many, I'm getting this pleasure, this whole basket of utility plays that are giving me value propositions like percent off tax gains, manual Thor calls, you know, Kira staking it, the missions are ending soon, and that's going to be like token gated for everything. So that price is going to be, you know, they're dropping a DEX like here. People don't realize that, right? So like they're dropping a DEX for their token alone. So everything's in-house, and it's just been back tested by a lot of people, and their community just buys these things and holds them. And you start to realize why, because they just nonstop giving back propositions to their holders, man. So if this goes well and they back test this on-chain DeFi, basically hedge fund, it's giving the little man an opportunity to take a step back and have something that could compound their asset for them way more efficiently than they ever could with emotions, right? It's giving them the legit ability to go, all right, here's 2 SOL and here's $1,000. That's my savings. That's what I want to risk. And they can watch it turn 6%, you know, in a couple months where they would normally lose it, right? So I think there's a lot of value propositions to be had here, but also you don't need a frog. That's why I love cyber. They're not saying, oh, if you have a dude, you can go into any of these contracts and get obviously 20% tax gains on what you earn, but it's, you know, you only have to pay Kira and then you're in. So they're opening up an onboarding event for people to come in, see their products, test everything out by giving a little bit more percentage tax gains on their profits, but they're not like cutting it off to just their little community. So I think they're doing everything pretty much right now, you know, giving allocation month codes to, you know, prominent people in the space to be like, you know what, come and try our product for free. If you like it, great. If you don't, see you later. I think that type of trust they show, and like really like they believe in themselves. They're not out here trying to lie and tell anybody, you know, false things. They're like, no, come on for free, check it out. I think so. All those things coming together, I think, provide a safe haven for people that want to compound their Solana and gain back value. So I think that's why you're seeing some liquidity trickle down to them now.
Yeah, I mean, really good deep dive into it, or I guess brief explanation of it, because I agree. You're getting a fantastic bot. Like, you look at the success rate. Thor's been crushing it, dude. Thor has been absolutely cooking right now. And
last 7 days, it's been 100% on Solana calls. 100%. That's not going to be all the time. Over the past year, it's been 70%. But dude, and like me, I took 7x my portfolio in the past 4 days following Thor. I've done it on the timeline. Like, I just like, dude, I'm going to back test it live. And no joke, man. It's no joke. It's like, and obviously, like I tell a lot of people, there's a learning curve from manual Thor. If you have not been trading leverage, you're not going to understand how to set limits, set stop conditional orders for those limits to actually use this manual bot, right? Like, don't get it twisted. You're not just going to be able to go use it and get rich quick. It's a learning curve if you've never traded crypto before. But the passive income strategy, Yakuza, is doing that for you. Everything that I'm doing manually, it's taking all the same calls, but it's algorithm trading. It's able to create high frequency exits and entries, and using sizable positions, right? So they're not looking for tons of movement. They can have a 0.5% move and make enough to pay you back 1% on your initial investment in a week. Boom. Like, so you don't need, this is why it's like such a great product, because if it back tests well, I'm telling you, there's a small percentage of every trader that's going to go, yeah, I'll throw 500 to it, 1,000, let it compound for 90 days, check back. I can see that happening. So yeah, that's why I'm bullish on it, man, because it's just transparency and a strong product.
Did Joe rug?
Yeah, I think you rugged, dog.
That's okay. I mean,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we got
I can hear you now.
Hello?
You're good. No, Joe, I think those are all great points. The one thing that always prevented me from buying Cyberfrog, and I know it's ridiculous because it is a tech product and everything. Frogs are ugly. I will say it right now. They're so ugly. I will tell Andy to his face, what is wrong with these?
Yeah.
Also, I know.
And you know what made me more bullish? Knowing that, I thought the same thing. I go, dude, they've already provided what they said utility-wise. What if they come back on the end and go, yo, by the way, it's going to be 150 Kira to upgrade your frog to some fire art, right?
Boom.
Like, how much more is that? Oh, dude, now you got liquidity rolling in, other investors coming for other reasons. Frogs, we don't really have a PFP of a frog. If they do that thing right. So that made me more bullish, knowing that their art is trash. It's like, dude, if they provide everything else and come back on the back end with that, how are you going to stop that? That's going to be a unicorn. You're going to have a DeFi product and a legit NFT profile picture product. That is a unicorn. That does not happen normally.
This might be blasphemous, but I'm more bullish on cyber frogs than Tayo, dog. Because you know what? They actually deliver.
I am too, dude. I am.
Well, I think the most exceptional part of cyber frogs to me is how little capital, and he's documented it too. Andy took over the project. He debugged cyber frogs, and what they were able to do with such little capital, like if he keeps compounding, these taxes on Thor, he scales it out. He gives people access to it. And he compounds those gains, he's scaling massively. And then what he could do with, if he did that with all, like, I think he said $5,000 is all he had for the project. If he could do all this with $5,000, you give us an art upgrade, people are like, oh yeah, bullish, because frogs actually look better because they're so ugly right now. I will tell him to his face, but he was just given what he was provided and took it to new heights. So if that's what he's doing with as little capital as he's had, whoo, boy, I gotta say, like,
and their capital, they're looking for crowd raising too now, right? They've openly said, you know what, this is what we've done with just our money, my capital. Guess what? We're going to look for capital now. And I know they've been talking to Tolly's rocking this pick. You know what I'm saying? So they have legit backers too, with liquidity that's available to them,
Joe,
right? Because it's a real product on Solana. So
why? I don't know how. It seems like you got pretty good contact with Andy. Why don't you tell him to hit up Monkey Ventures?
That's a great. I will. I'll mention that if he hasn't.
And that's
yet,
for
Joe.
my
That's a
own
great
bags as well. Just let you guys.
Yeah, dude, I love that, dude. 100%.
He's honest. At least he's honest. Yeah, no, I think. Look, I guess here's the question, Joe. Do you think it's not financial advice? Do your own research. But after this pump to 18, do you still think this is a good buy here? Not financial advice. Do your own research. He does have bags too, by the way. So just gotta disclaim that.
So I'll be honest with you. No, right? So if not right now, I would say let the bot do the talking, right? Let the contracts start seeing TL people, I made this much. Let things start back testing live now before you go in, right? The only value proposition right now holding frogs is for people with size, like that want that tax gain, right? For me, I'm holding 9 because it's only 10% on the tax gains because I have some size in the contracts, right? And I use manual Thor. I'm a day trader. So this is a real value prop for me. If you want to get one frog, I'd say right now between 15 and 18 might be a good place to grab one and try the product out because you still get 1 hour, 4 hour daily calls, and you get 5% off tax gains. So you're only getting 15%, not 20 tax on the passive contracts, right? And you can stake that frog for Kira, which the emissions are ending, and that's token gated for everything. And it's going to have its own DEX, like I mentioned. So like there's still value proposition to get one frog, but I want to go sweet for it. There's no reason to have more than one frog unless you're getting 9. Understand? Like either because that's where the tier system is. So you have one frog, great. Unless you want more Kira, if that's your proposition, you think Kira is going to go crazy, then yeah, you can stake and get passive Kira. But I would say honestly, either get one frog or hold off. Throw some money in the contract, try it out, let the 20% gains. Who cares? You're not paying anything, right? You're either going to get your money back, either going to lose a little bit, or you're going to make money, right? So I would say no. I'd say just hold off and watch price action, watch back testing, and get your hands wet in the ecosystem. You don't need a frog to. That'd be my honest, transparent.
This is why I love the show, man. It's like you guys are so honest and transparent. It's like you ask anybody else, like I ain't gonna call out nobody names on the timeline, but let somebody have brought a bag and they're like, oh, what do you think he's gonna do from here? Joe straight up had told you, it's like, hey, I probably wouldn't do it. Other people in the ecosystem would be like, nah, dog, this thing's gonna do a 2 to 3x from here and continue to sin.
No, bro. Like, no. Bro, the time was to buy at like 8 to 12 stole, right? And now you got to let them prove themselves. Like I said, like we'll be trading in the dojo or anything. And I'll be like, you know what? Let them prove this level to me, or I'm not entering a trade. Or like prove it to me, and then we'll go from there. And it's not like that's not biased towards anybody. I'm saying generally, like prove it. Let the market prove it, fair value, and then move on from there. Honestly, you would be lucky. I would be lucky if this thing drops. I'm trying to get 24 frogs. That's when you're not getting taxed at all. That's when you have that's like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, please don't buy. You think I'm a good guy, Dor? Really, I'm inverse psychology right now because I want people to not buy.
Yeah. Well, there you go. He gave out his reasoning and then showed you his reverse psychology. You love to see it, but no, I did kind of did the same thing. I jumped on Wise Whale's space with Dave, good friend of the show. And he was asking about heist, and I was like, look, you want my honest opinion, let these things go down to 7, pick up a bag there, and then just ride from there. 7 was the Pico bottom. Like it was 7.
That's a money call.
I was like,
it's a money call.
I was like, look, I'm not gonna sit here and like, you see momentum, like and we can't do it no matter how many features we go to stop it. You can't stop momentum when it goes that hard. Like just let it happen. But as soon as 7 hits, I'm cooking. I picked up 4 from there. So it's not hard. It's not hard to be unbiased and just be like, look, from a trader's perspective, this is what I would do, and I'm involved with the project, right? So I don't know. I think there's value there. That's how you onboard people. They start looking at your calls like, oh man, that's really good. And they stay around longer because they're like, well, why did he make that call? If you ask why, that's way more valuable than, what's the next call, right? That's just never going to be profitable for you. So, guys, we've hit our hour mark. Anything else we want to dig into? We talked about a lot today, actually. We talked about
I know, right? It went from being like little bearish at the beginning to, man, this was a blast. I had a great time. In terms of things to talk about, just be on the lookout, man. Like, market conditions aren't optimal right now. This is when you start packing up your bags for that next run, man. There's plays. I've been paying more attention to BRC20 and Ordinals. Specifically, the play that I'm looking out for is Big God's Coin. Don't know when that dropped, but give him a follow on Twitter. Just so if you don't have a whitelist or you're not getting an airdrop, you can probably trade it on a secondary. I'm not the best secondary trader in the world. I just know I'm getting an airdrop from OMB and I'm getting a whitelist from OMB. So my bags are packed. I'm not out here shilling it. I'm just saying, if you're looking for a good trading opportunity, I think this might be it. If you're not comfortable with it, don't touch it. I'm just touching it because I'm in so early and I plan on throwing a fat bag at it as soon as it launches on, I guess, whatever marketplace is going to. There's so much stuff going on in the Solana ecosystem. Claynosaurus hit 50-ish, which is, I still bullish on Claynosaurus long term. I'm still holding one of my dinosaurs. So Blocksmith with Migos coming up. I did talk about Bastards. I've been having a lot of good conversation with one of the team members over there, thanks to Bison, and got a lot of things coming, so to say the least with them. So Bastards, but yeah, man, there's just a lot going on in the ecosystem, even though we're in a little bit of a lull. And right now is not the time to check out. It's the time to reorganize your portfolio, like Joe's been doing, and really get in a good position for that next bull run.
Yep, 100%. Cool. Anything else, Joe, you want to talk about before we wrap up the show? Because I got to head out here soon.
Oh, man. We're good to go.
Sweet. Okay, cool. That about does it for this show of RareFUD Radio. Please, if you guys haven't already, please share with a friend. Hit that little subscribe button down below if you're on YouTube. If you're listening on podcasts, make sure you rush back home, drive safe. But hit that subscribe button at RareFUD Radio over on YouTube. Make sure you are following us on Twitter. Make sure you hit a little ad review and give us 5 stars. It helps tremendously on the podcast side of things. We are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We do air every Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see you on the next show of RareFUD Radio. Thank you so much for watching.